Hi, and welcome. This is VTC's training course on Autodesk Revit Building. My name is Tamaskan Hussain. Revit Building is a fully three-dimensional building modeler. It functions very well at all phases of the design process, from concept sketches all the way through construction documentation. This course will prepare you for the process of implementing this new tool into the current workflow that's out there. Successful implementation will require planning, training, and a transition phase from current computer-aided design applications like AutoCAD, the worldwide standard. CAD and Revit Building, what are the differences? CAD stands for Computer-Aided Design or Drafting. Computers have been used as an aid to a very old design process that hasn't changed much even as the tools became electronic. CAD software still requires you to design line by line for the most part, and lines representing a wall in a plan do not create or appear in elevation, section, or 3D views of that wall. Revit Building, on the other hand, is directed towards architectural designers. It is not based on the drafting language of lines, arcs, and circles. Revit Building is a building modeler database with drafting tools included for those inevitable cases where simple line work is the most efficient way to illustrate a design concept or detail. Revit Building differs fundamentally from CAD. All possible views of the model update with each command, including sheets and schedules. Much of the current design process routine, especially propagating changes throughout a set of construction document pages, disappears as a result. Here's an example of the effectiveness of Revit Building. The Freedom Tower project for New York City was developed in Revit Building. On May 1, 2005, very late in the design process, the New York City Police Department announced that it was dissatisfied with the security measure in the site and building design and put the whole project on hold. Then on June 8, 2005, only 5 weeks later, the police department announced its satisfaction with the design changes put in place by the architect. Imagine a project of that size, scope, and public scrutiny. Present design software tools would not allow you to respond to a major last-minute challenge as quickly and as well. Revit Building is powerful. What does parametric design mean? Revit Building objects are placed in relation to all other objects in a model, and parameters control the relationships. Designers can now establish relationships among building components that will hold through design revisions. Suppose that an array of windows in a wall works best if the windows are equidistant from one another, the end windows are 6 feet from the corners, and the sills are 2 feet from the floor. Revit Building will recognize and apply those constraints and adjust the positions of the windows if the wall length or floor height changes. The potential use of constraints flows throughout a model. Revit Building's use of parameters underlies every aspect of the user interface. There is no drafting-oriented organization, such as layers, to control appearance of objects. Much of the learning curve for CAD applications, therefore, does not pertain to new Revit Building users. Who would benefit from this course? If you currently work in architectural design, this course will explain the basics of the Revit Building tools that you will be using every day. An important part of implementing Revit Building in an active design company's workflow is blending this powerful new tool with the often vast store of valuable information in existing drawing files. So, parts of this course deal with importing AutoCAD information into Revit Building and exporting DWG files from Revit Building so that the new technology can be transparent to the design team. If you are a student of architectural design, this course will show you the very latest software tool in the marketplace. You will be among the first to design buildings parametrically, entirely in 3 dimensions, without having to learn the mechanics of representational lines, arcs, and circles beforehand. I have been teaching Revit Building online for a long time, and I am sure you will benefit from this course.